All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the second monthly Decentraland Town Hall. This one is designed to be easier for our EU Asian community. The first one is designed to be a little bit more conducive for our US based community. And so I'm happy to already see a few names, faces that haven't seen in a little while. So I can say, hopefully, that this is already a success. Changing to this schedule. So we'll stick to the typical town hall format. You'll get an update from all the core units committee. We'll share some grant updates, and we will then have an open forum for some discussion. So once again, welcome, and want to start off by opening it up to our DAO committee members. If there's any update they would like to share. Yamel, HP, are you guys with us?
I'm here, Matt. Yeah, let me share my screen. One second. I'm not sure if I can. I have a permission thing here.
Oh, there we go.
Can you all see my screen?
It's loading for me.
Yes.
My computer is saying that I need to reset Discord for this. I can do it without the presentation and share it later. So let me stop this. So the update from the DAO committee. My name is Yemel. I wanted to share you that we're having a very good activity from the DAO. A lot of proposals and a lot of votes. If you go to Deep DAO, which is a website that indexes all the different DAOs out there, we're in the number 9. So we're in the top 10 DAOs based on several different dimensions in treasury size, in number of proposals, in number of votes. And actually, we recently have a call with people from Consensus, and they were super interested in what we're doing, and they actually offer us help to some consultancy because they see a lot of potential in us. This was thanks to Gino, who participated in a conference in Denver. So yeah, getting a lot of signaling that we're doing interesting stuff here. So that's just something worth pointing out. Regarding our treasury, at the moment we have most of our assets in mana. We have 43 million mana available right now to use and fund different grants. We have more than 500,000 in stable coins, and we haven't been releasing the vesting contract recently. However, the money is it's there. That the reason behind that is because we changed some of the permissions with the security advisory board and the DAO committee in the Aeron app. So for us, it's not that easy at the moment to release the vesting contract, but we can still do it through the security advisory board. So we also have at this moment another 8.6 million mana releasable at the vesting contract that we can use. There have been some conversation about diversifying the treasury and having a better strategy than just holding most of our assets in mana. Looking forward to see some proposal on this. This could help us go through a bear market and continue securing the funds for different grant programs. All this information is open and public on the governance app. If you go to transparency page, you can see the current balances and also a link to the vesting contract of the DAO. Regarding the grants, since the conception of the grant program, we have approved more than 106 to be exact, approved grants for a grand total of $6.6 million in grants. Those are distributed in different categories on content creator, platform contributor, community, and gaming. We have an average of $700,000 spent by month after month in grants. Those funds are supposed to be empowering our platform, growing the content and what Decentraland can do and can be. This is only for community lead projects, doesn't include the foundation project, which is the Explorer, the Marketplace, and many other core parts. And regarding governance proposals, we have 4 governance proposals that have passed and they're pending for being enacted. The first one is establishing a formal process for adding and removing committee members. We have been blocked by this because it's hard to add new committee members without a compensation. There is a proposal being voted about that at this moment. Looking forward to see that pass and open the call for new committee members who want to be 3 and then maybe grow to 5. So that's one point. The other important proposal is attaching VP to L1 wearable collections. That's pretty close to be completed. The strategy is it's already merged in Snapshot strategy repository that's public. You can find it there. It's being tested and not implemented yet on our Snapshot space, but it's close to be. The third proposal, the governance proposal that passed, is unifying the point of interest list and move it from Ethereum to Polygon network. The unifying part, I think that's already done. The hard-coded POIs have been removed. And we're in the process of deploying the point of interest in Polygon and migrating away from Aragon. That's something I'm talking with Foundation to implement it. We believe we don't need a proper audit of this since the point of interest is not moving a lot of money. So maybe we can deploy and start using it. And if we find something that is wrong, we can change it because node funds are at risk. And finally, a proposal to swap, define a custom spawn location that passed on September. And we're communicating this to Foundation, looking forward to see implemented sometime soon. Yeah, so that's pretty much our update. If you have any questions here or in the chat. If not, Matt, you can continue.
Thanks, Yamel. That's a lot of great information. And I think we're going to take a few minutes to open it up to the community for questions because I think there's a lot there. So popcorn style, let's go.
Totally. Can I jump in?
Please.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Jimmy, for that awesome update. I just wanted to ask two quick questions, mostly related to governance. First off, for the DAO community compensation, which is something I believe most of us, not the whole community, actually supports. I just wanted to ask, is there a time frame included in that with regards to what it's going to look like as an implementation, or is it going to be done in perpetuity? And this relates to my second question with regards to our approach towards passing governance proposals. So on the question of diversifying the treasury, if we were to take decisions on potentially adding a means of diversification to our treasury as a DAO, would that be a one-time proposal where we diversify based on a specific report? Would it be a continuous effort? Would there be a time frame that would have to be placed within it? And again, this is more of an open-ended question, so I think it's also up to us to discuss, but it would be awesome to hear your thoughts on that, Jimmy.
For sure. Thank you for the questions. Regarding the compensation, at the moment, what is being proposed is setting the compensation ad eternum, at least until another proposal is passed. I mentioned in the proposal about switching to a performance-based approach once we grow from 3 to 5. That's something it could make sense to evaluate. But for now, I think that this is the best solution. We could go through the grants program as well to request a grant to compensate ourselves and renew that grant every 6 months. However, like I like the part of having the updates, but like we will be sending the money to our vesting contract, then release it from there. And we should like define the budget if we want to add a new person to it. So it's kind of, I like the part of renewing the grant, but the implementation of the vesting contract, I feel is not the best way. So yeah, the short answer is it should be ad eternum until we vote for something better. Regarding the treasury diversification, my opinion is that maybe we should have some target, let's say half in mana, half in stable coins. And we should swap every week this much from one to another, and limit the velocity to change from one to another. And that's something that the DAO committee can make sure to enact every week. Like, we are approaching to this target. This is the north. This is something that we want. And the DAO committee could do that. We don't feel like entitled at the moment to take that decision. Like, we can do the swap. However, we need to have the agreement and the consent from the whole community in order to proceed in this way. So that will be super helpful for us, like having this north and the operational things that we need to take care every week in order to align to that north. Other strategy would be to appoint like a squad or a core team that could make these kind of decisions and move like faster, like in a sudden rise of the price, they could say like, let's sell, or maybe let's invest in these other more risky things. And that will be like a committee entrusted by the community, and they can send actions to the DAO committee to be enacted. That will be another approach. Open to discuss it with the rest of the community.
Something that
Great.
Hi everyone, I'm Gino here. Something that I've been discussing with other like DAOs that have core units for treasury management is, for example, the DAO votes on allowed operations. Like, for example, okay, you can like this core unit can swap between these like 5 tokens, and those are the protocols where you can invest on, and this is the maximum amount of risk that you can take. And then that team operates under the guidelines that the DAO voted on. I think that's a nice approach. There are some like tools where you can basically allow people to manage those funds without being able to take those funds out of the treasury. So the risk is lower. But I think that that's a nice way of doing it. So voting on some basic guidelines and then giving a team the responsibility of manage that, and that's like reviewed on a monthly or bi-monthly basis to see how they perform. I think it's cool.
Chino, can I just add one point on this as well, even related to what's being asked in the chat?
Sure.
Youngly, can you mute, please?
Got it. Go ahead, Shawnee.
Thanks. Just move the other person as well. Basically, so one thing we could also consider as a DAO is the possibility of introducing third parties to be able to actively assess this for us. So some interesting companies we've been talking to as of late have really interesting both blockchain and cybersecurity protocols with regards to smart contract compliance. Sorry, I have an error for a forward there. So we're working with very interesting companies that have very solid policies for smart contract compliance and also asset diversification. So in the next, I think 3 months or 2 months, we're going to be bringing a client into Decentraland, which is a bank that has existed for about 230 years, I think, or 190 years, something like that. And one of the key things they want to do is provide more competence and understanding to Web3 projects with regards to diversifying their treasury. I'm saying this just over here. It would be interesting to look at how basically organizations that have long been in the field of asset management and the financial sector might actually be able to contribute to us as well in this regard with regards to diversification and monitoring our treasury. And a quick point that Sinful and Mickey brought up, which is important. Right now, being able to diversify is important because it makes the treasury healthy. Because right now, the vast majority of our treasury is held in mana. And every single time we issue a payment, we end up being the biggest dumpers of mana on the market, basically providing a lot of sell pressure to the market, which influences the price. And once the majority of our treasury is held in that asset, we quite literally deplete our treasury from multiple fronts in an exponential way, both by releasing funds for grants, but also reducing the price of mana due to the sell pressure that we're applying onto the market as we convert that mana into DAI or USDC once our grants are passed out in those tokens instead in stable coins. So it would be interesting for us to start seeing how we can diversify even more so that we have assets that are already converted and held in that sense. And an important thing I feel we should also start talking about as a community is new means of revenue generation for the DAO as well. So looking at our grant system as more of an accelerator program that could potentially allow us to invest in projects that can build more means of revenue for the DAO itself, which is, I think, a conversation we can have in parallel with the diversification of the treasury.
Thank you, Shawnee, for those inputs. And I think this is a important conversation. And no worries. I think please check, for those who aren't checking the chat in the town hall, there's some interesting conversations going about a report that was put together by a team of third-party community members who work in this field, as well as a grant that they had following it, I believe. So yeah, this is all important and interesting to think about the way that our own grant making affects the price of our coin. Moving along, and Yamal, thank you again for that wonderful update. We're all really happy to hear it. Moving along for this morning, we're gonna jump into the DAO facilitators update. The DAO Facilitation Team, for those of you, if you don't know, is comprised of myself, Madamio, Fractillion, and Jetty. We are in the 3rd month of a 6-month grant, which has been how we have been funding core units of the DAO, which include the Facilitation Team, the Governance Squad, and the Grant Support Squad right now. And all of these core units have progressively been increasing their collaboration and cooperation with each other, and from my perspective are doing really amazing work overall, the core units, to push forward the DAO. On our end, I want to just draw our attention to our recent report we released. I think it was shared in the chat earlier, but we can share it again. Our first monthly community pulse. This report is meant to do what it says, present the pulse of the community, at the end of each month. It includes a creator spotlight of a team or person who is receiving a DAO grant, which is sort of a long form storytelling to share the experience of grant making and what we're funding. There's the second section of it is an in-depth governance update, which focuses on a core issue of the DAO for the month. And finally, just sort of a small blog facilitation note from the unit, discussing feelings, thoughts on governance in general and in our community as a whole. So please, if you haven't already, check out that report. It's hopefully we're open to feedback and making it better, and hopefully you enjoy it. And secondly, Fractillion, thank you so much for getting our YouTube up and running and putting such great content there. So that's our next major update is DAO has a YouTube that we will be sharing content and communicating more through. So that's my part of the facilitators update. I'm going to pass it to Jetty for an update on existing working groups, and then to Fractillion to discuss any more about the YouTube and the in-world meetup.
Yeah, sounds great. How's everybody going? This is Jetty speaking. Just gonna chime in quick with two updates on what's happening in the current working groups in the DAO. So first one to update y'all on is we have the channel monetary allowance. We are in the process right now of writing a draft proposal that I think correlates nicely to the conversation that we were just having earlier in this town hall. We want to use this draft proposal to not only enact a stopgap that has that is a solution to a loophole that exists in the current grant application and funding process, but we also want to explore different avenues for how this grants process can adapt and evolve to the growing needs of the DAO, such as dynamic funding opportunities that may be outside of the current framework. So we are in the midst of writing that draft proposal. Be looking out for that. And then as far as the other working groups, plural, that we've really consolidated as a part to one conversation, being VP distribution and whale votes. It's such a complex issue, but there's been so many good thoughts shared from all across the DAO. So just extending our thanks for the community participation, chiming in on this. You'll kind of see in the community pulse that there is a section on VP delegation and how VP delegation is an existing tactic. But obviously the issue of whale votes and VP distribution is much larger. So we're still writing the working group synopsis, but we feel that it's getting to a conclusive place, and we will post that onto our Mirror channel and share that out with y'all as soon as we can. And that's it as far as my updates go.
Thanks, Jetty. And we're also just want to add that, as we're going through these working groups, we're working on sort of edifying the process of it and making it so they are both, productive while having active facilitation from the facilitation squad and able to be run by a community member as well surrounding a specific issue. So we're working on formalizing the working group process on how to collectively make good decisions and move towards consensus, as this is something that's important for the longevity of our DAO and our community is distributed decision making. And I think working groups are an important process for this, especially in the consensus building stage. So please do jump into those channels and share your thoughts and participate in the process and the conversation as we develop this workflow of our DAO. Passing it to Fractillion, do you want to talk about any of the amazing creator work you've been working on, as well as the in-world meetup coming up?
Yeah, definitely. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking. My audio is a little funky always. Yeah, the launch of our Community Pulse, I had a blast interviewing. I want to give a special shout out to CK Bubbles and Nikki Fuego for being our first grantees interviewed. I had a blast, and I highly recommend you guys checking it out. There's so many amazing golden nuggets in there. I'm going to be doing some little micro content and sharing it as well. But yeah, I learned a lot, and they're doing a lot of things that I think are really helpful to new people in the space learning about how to create a proposal that the community supports. And yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in there. And also on the YouTube channel, we'll also be uploading our town hall videos. I'm recording it right now, and also putting up team updates. And our next big thing is we have some really cool DAO supported tutorials by Sango on wearable creation that I will also be working with him to put up. And so please head over there and subscribe, and we will be doing these monthly creator series interviews as part of the Community Pulse. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. And also we are planning for to start Twitter Spaces next week, and it'll be an AMA with hopefully a bunch of the core team will show up, and we'll give you guys updates on that on Twitter and here in the Discord. And last but not least, we do have another in-world meetup at the end, and we have Wave with Vuelta, and we also have DCL Dating with Dice Masters, who will be showing us around. So please, if you have time, join us after the town hall, and we'll go jump into that. And that's it. Thanks.
Matimio, are you there? Or maybe
Oh.
I lost the audio.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Can't
I
hear
was
anything.
on mute.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
wondering.
talking. You
No,
know
I
me
know. I
so
was
well.
wondering. I'm like, what happened to him? Cool.
We
Wow,
are
I don't
all
even
going to
remember what.
sound pretty sick, but you're there, you're alive, cool.
Oh no, I sound sick. It's 5 a.m. So, anyways, I was just rambling. I'm passing it off to you, Gino, for the DApps Team Governance Squad update.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much. All right, folks, a couple of things. First of all, regarding to the L1 wearables VP strategy that Yemel mentioned, it's probably going to be available today or tomorrow in our production snapshot space. Thank you for all the community members that helped us testing that. So we need to figure out some like permissions and things regarding to our snapshot space, but it's going to be there pretty soon. So we'll be creating a couple of million of VP for holders of L1 wearables. And I think this is like super important because it came from a working group. I think it's the first actionable outcome from a working group of this DAO. So that's really amazing. Then another small thing that we just released is now for grant proposals, co-authors of those proposals can also publish project updates. So if you created a grant proposal and you have a team and you added that team as a co-authors, they will be able to also publish status updates. Then another thing that we actually...
How do I join the chat?
What chat? Maybe the town hall chat? I don't know. Well, we fixed something that it's been broken forever, and we just realized because someone notified us on the support channel on the DAO Discord server. Now you can submit points of interest on the Ethereum district because we were basically validating 150 minus 150 coordinates on the map, and Etheria is a little bit far away as a cyberpunk district should be. So now you can submit points there. Regarding ongoing work, we're continuing the work on the profile page improvements. That's something that's going to be out hopefully in the next sprint, so in the next 2 weeks. And we started the work regarding notification systems on Discord, emails, and things like that. So the communications for the grants can go over email in an automated way. Community members who are super interested into governance proposals can also subscribe to a Discord bot or something that notified them when a proposal is about to end, the outcome of a proposal they voted, and things like that. And then another thing that I would like to reinstate and mention, something that Yemel also mentioned, but it's really important, is the legacy points of interest list that was maintained by the Decentraland Foundation is now deprecated. So, for example, Genesis City at the moment is not a point on the map. So I will share here a spreadsheet with all the points of interest that were removed from that they were on the hard-coded list that we removed. So if anyone feels that any of those points of interest should be re-added as a point of interest on the list that it's maintained by the DAO, please just create a proposal and let the people vote on them. So that's the list. You will see the coordinates and the titles. I think this is the best way to not duplicate things that are maybe not interesting. But for example, Genesis Plaza is definitely an interesting point of interest that should be there. Satoshi, the museum, the university, conference center. I don't know. There are a lot of them that should be added as a point of interest. So we leave the community with that task of adding them. I think that's it on my side.
Great. Thank you, Gino. Just a quick second to open up for questions for either the Governance Facilitation Team or DAO Squad for Gino before we move on for grants updates.
Yeah, just to ask, so on our end, about 6 of these are on estates that Metaverse Architects manages. Do we just submit a new one that's scene specific, basically? I think that would be the easiest way to do it,
yeah,
right?
That's it.
Awesome, thanks, Gino.
Okay, going to pass it off to the grants team for the exciting updates that we get from you. Take it away.
Thanks, Matimio. Hi, everyone. I'm Pablo here from the Grant Support Squad. Well, today we have 3 grantees as our guests, and the updates again will be shared by videos. And if you have any question, the grantees are gonna be in the chat answering. So first of all, before the grantees, I don't know if you knew this fact, but we do have a professional lawyer in the team. Sino has worked 11 years in his profession, and today he's leading the process regarding the grants revocation committee. As you know, we made a poll about. So, Sino, would you like to share in a minute an update about the Grant Support Squad poll?
Thank you, Pablo, for the compliments. Yes, as you might know, our team poll to create a revocation committee has passed. We are drafting the process to create it, which will be in charge of the revocation decision regarding the Decentraland grants. So we are on the stage that we are receiving inputs from the members of the community, of the DAO committee, of the governance squad, and the facilitation squad as well. And we will post updates in the following weeks. So thank you to all the community members so much for your patience on that matter. That is our update, and in a few days we'll be sharing new things about this. Thank you, Pablo, for that.
Well, thank you too. Let's go with the grants. Today, first of all, I want to introduce the video update of the Museum of Contemporary Digital Art, the MOCDA grant. They are in the chat, so if you have any questions, you can ask them there. We can see the video, Sino, if you have it.
All right.
Hello everyone, my name is Rina and I'm the director and co-founder of MOCDA, Museum of Contemporary Digital Art, which was founded back in 2019 in London.
Since we joined the Decentraland University District 3 years ago, we have been hosting special events, seeking to interact with curators, creatives and experts, as well as to open our exhibition program with the general public for their enjoyment, education and collective experience.
Our team is made of incredibly talented and experienced curators who share the ambition of presenting digital art and letting people learn about the tools artists use, as well as the metaverse. In the past 3 years, we curated international art shows displaying digital art and physical digital art in cities including New York, London, Venice, and Istanbul.
Since 2019, we have opened several special exhibitions welcoming thousands of visitors. Some of our most recent shows include Digital Embodiment and Interventions, The Sculptural World of Martin Mogadou, Pulse, Electromaneurism, Memento Menti, and Do Not Touch.
The work of our dedicated team involves preliminary research, installation planning and curatorial strategies for each exhibition. We always plan at least 3 special events associated with each exhibition. This enables more opportunities for Decentraland users to visit the shows and take full advantage of Decentraland's space as a social environment.
We are grateful to know that members of the DAO appreciated our proposal and shared their excitement and interest in joining our events in the Decentraland Museum. Thanks to your support, we are now able to share as many events and digital art exhibitions in Decentraland during these months as ever.
Thanks to the DAO funds, in July, we opened the Digital Summer Show 2022. This is a group show featuring 30 works by emerging creatives. It was organized with the help of international art schools and universities to celebrate the diversity and energy of talented artists while promoting new perspectives on digital creativity.
The exhibition will remain open until Sunday, the 25th of September, so please do not miss the chance to visit it while it's still on.
Last Monday, we opened Edge Studies, a solo show presenting the work of the National Geographic photographer, explorer, activist and storyteller Aaron Wee. The exhibition presents the uncanny and powerful images he captured at the edges of Decentraland, Minecraft, Somnium Space, Voxels and VR Chat. We opened the exhibition last Monday, but we also plan on many other special events, including a virtual tour.
Early next month, we will open Not Only RGB, a new group show featuring works by Matt Kane, Kevin Abosch, Sarah Mayoas, Mathieu Merle-Briand, Mattia Cuttini, and Luca Donno. The show will explore the transposition of color from the natural world into the realm of the digital, investigating the fundamental laws that govern our emotional and physical relationships to color while immersed in a digital landscape. We will host a special opening event in the Decentraland and have planned a number of talks and screenings that will make you connect with the artists and visit the exhibition many times in the next months.
Follow us on social media and make sure to join us on Discord. We'd love to see you soon in the metaverse so you can stay up to date with all our upcoming events.
Thank you again for your support. We look forward to welcoming you to our building in the Decentraland. Bye.
Well, thanks, Filippo, Serena, for making the video and for being here. Let's continue. We have 2 video updates about the Metaverse Architect's current grant. First of all, the mental health clinic in Decentraland The video is about the progress of the building, and Alex, I think, is here. She leads the project from the MindDC team here in the chat to explain more about the mental health content. So we have the next video to watch. Thanks, Zeno.
The MindDC exterior has gone through many challenges along the way. In fact, it started out completely different than what we've ended up with today. The original build, which you're seeing now, was built on the idea of having 4 main rooms and a lobby, a sentiment that's changed today. I felt as though the architecture was lacking here, however, so I went through many different shapes, including 2 towers connected together. These 2 towers even got to a point where they were animated to add more movement and life to the build, but eventually got discarded as we felt they were too hard-edged to work with. Eventually, we ended up going to a completely different shape and landed on an infinity sign as the basic idea of the build, a shape that has no start or end. As a metaverse architect, my personal preferred building style is very organic, and I like to make use of parametric surfaces wherever I can. The building style is meant to have no hard edges, as it is meant to be soft and warm rather than hard and sterile like many health institutions around the world. An important element to the architecture was animating the entire build, allowing it to grow and shrink in time with a breathing exercise, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, making the building serve as its own calming exercise even without venturing inside. This was done to add more life to the building and make it feel more inviting, as well as to catch people's eyes as they run by the land on Decentraland. The second area which is under development is the lobby interior. The lobby is meant to serve simply as an in-between point between the different interior spaces. Like the exterior, it is built in a very organic style using soft blue plates all over the walls to represent MindDC's colors. The lobby also features a natural area around the bottom rim where organic park seating can be found. This will be a calm area where users can relax and enjoy their time inside. At the end of the large organic room, you will find 3 doors that lead to the 3 main interiors, these being a mental health first aid room, as well as a meditation room and an educational room. The third and final area under development at this stage is the mental health first aid room. This is meant to be the softest room out of all of them, being based around the shape of a sphere, one of the few 3D primitives to have no hard edges. The mental health first aid room will also be completely dynamic, responding to the user's needs through different prompts that will be given to them in the UIs. The dynamic changes will happen through the changing colors of the walls. Those of you who actively build for Decentraland will know how animated textures are quite difficult to pull off, and seeing as this is the first aid room for mental health issues, we felt having an organic feeling animation would fit the room and the function of the room is meant to serve. So we went on to develop a new technique for us to create procedural animations that can be baked into keyframes and used within Decentraland. Here you're seeing the first working prototype of this procedural animation. Now we are actively working on refining and fine-tuning this animation so it can be used on different curved surfaces rather than flat surfaces aligned with either the X, Y, or Z axis. This is proving to be quite the challenge and is challenging us to learn a lot more about Blender and how procedural animations can be created and used freely in Decentraland. Now, I think I've spoken enough about the building, and I'm going to let a short render recreated play and let the architecture speak for itself.
Well, thanks for this update. I'm checking in the chat, and Shani is his commitment is to share this knowledge of these animated buildings and textures and whatever. So I'd love to see that. The last video update is about the uncensored library on Decentraland. The video is also about the building progress, and Shan is in the chat to explain more about the progress on the content and alliances and everything. Go on.
In this exciting space, as its values are ones that I hold very dear to me on a personal level. So without further ado, here's my process so far. Initially, the library's structure was analyzed in its original form on Minecraft in order to kick off a brainstorm with the intention of figuring out how the design could be reimagined for its integration with Decentraland. One limitation that quickly became apparent to us was the sheer scale difference between Minecraft's library and the space that we had to work with on Decentraland. For a rough estimate, the original building stretched kilometers in length, while the one we're working on stems only 80 by 64 meters. This was our first challenge that I confidently feel that we overcame. We did so by maintaining the essentials of the exterior to retain its full functionality, while also using instancing technology for the interior. Another challenge that was less concrete than the previous one is to truly understand how we can emphasize what the library represents for freedom of speech. By recognizing the empowerment that a decentralized space can offer such a movement, we wanted to communicate that the combat against censorship is an everlasting process that won't slow down or stutter anytime soon. Hence, we've symbolized the building as a divine machine that never slows in order to represent the brave and continuous work of our journalists globally. The process of the project's creation was done by splitting it into sub-projects in order for us to control the workflow efficiently. We first modeled the exterior to set the tone of the building, and then built the interiors room by room. These interiors include the Freedom Index Hall, the peripheral rooms, their corresponding corridors, and the greenhouses. While some areas stayed relatively close to the original reference, we took some design liberties to ensure that we maximize the player experience within a non-voxel environment, as you can particularly see in the library's greenhouses. At the moment, we're in the process of fine-tuning our models and making sure that there aren't any human errors. Once this process is complete, we will be able to take on more exciting challenges in the development side of the project. We hope that this digital space reminds you that you are free to speak your mind and that no government can or should tell you otherwise.
Do I just go quickly for 90 seconds?
Yeah, go on.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much I'm super grateful. Like, I could allow the team to be able to show what they've been working on in these two projects for the last few weeks. And I'm really happy just seeing the chat and the sentiments of the chat over there. Mind Easy is going to go live on October 11th for World Mental Health Day, and we're planning to do a splash over there. So please save the date. We'll also be getting one more update with regard to the implementation of the SDK side utility on the build, and that will be both from me and from the MindEasy team with regards to the mental health provisions there. We do have some blockers with Uncensored Library to do with data and the nature of the foundation and its legal status. It's questions that the journalists from Reporters Without Borders are bringing up, and we're planning to solve that over the next month. But MindEasy will be launched on 11th October. Uncensored Library, we're still uncertain when we're going to be launching it due to the specific blockers we're facing at the moment. And we're also trying to invest more money into building infrastructure for a blockchain-backed reporting system where basically reporters can mint their work on the blockchain. And this is extremely important to journalists that are fearing for their life and keep all of their work on centralized systems. So we're still trying to work on that and seeing the best move forward. And we'll have updates on that in approximately a month.
Thanks for that. Thank you all for your time on the grants block. And we are here. Please use the chat or feel free to write to us. Thank you. And we have the last minutes of the town hall. Martimio.
Thank you, Paulo. That's great updates, and love seeing these videos and the production quality. It's really amazing. Just to wrap up this town hall, I want to give an opportunity to open it up to the community to raise any issues. Please note this is a time for community issues, communication, discussion, not necessarily shilling of projects, please. So if you have anything to bring up that you would like to raise into our collective consciousness, please do so now.
So, hi everyone. This is Sinful. This has kind of like been a thought. It's not really like an issue or anything. Has anyone ever thought about maybe implementing something within the DAO section on Decentraland, where let's say you look up my name, and it will show how many proposals I've submitted, as well as just general information, how much I've received, or just general information that people should know before voting on proposals in the future that were put in by certain people.
Yes, sir. We're actually working on that, and it's gonna be available in the next 2 weeks. Exactly what I was referring to when I was talking about profile improvements. So we're basically gonna build your voting history. You're gonna be able to add your description, bio, and things like that. So when people see a proposal, or when people want to delegate voting power to you or wherever, they will be able to see how you performed, executed, voted, and did things on DAO. So yes.
That's so sick. Thank you.
Hello, can I talk? Is that okay? Is anyone waiting? There's no way to put my hand up.
Just jump in.
Yeah, I've just been doing a few proposals lately to support biosecurity. So I set up a governance for a cooling down period for new collections. It got a little bit of not backlash, but more like a little bit of push that people don't want to change that. But some feedback was around adding reviews to the marketplace, so people can actually find out if a creator is changing their prices frequently or something like this. Some of the kind of cons to that were people don't want written reviews. So I've actually been talking to the people setting up the creator verification program, and hopefully I can work with them on an implementation path, or possibly they can pick that up and put that as part of their roadmap. So that's just kind of something that's open for discussion. But I think, yeah, we should be thinking a little bit around biosecurity so that people can have confidence in buying in new creators into the marketplace. So, yeah, that's just something I'm working on. I think it's just good for the community to think about.
Thank you. And please feel free to share those links to proposals in the chat that you're talking about so people have a reference point to jump into the conversation.
Yeah, totally. I'll do that. Thank you.
Any other folks nervous to jump in that haven't yet? Feel free also to type questions in the town hall chat. That's open on the side here.
I just want to say that it's amazing that so many Decentraland Foundation members joined the town hall. I think this is great, especially regarding the conversations that we had in the last town hall. It's amazing to see progress on that front. So it's great.
Thank you, Gino.
Okay.
Yeah, echoing that. Sorry, Shani, were you saying something?
I was like, we're 65 people in this town hall meeting, and the voting in the DAO is like exponentially shooting up. So it's just really exciting. Like, so even kudos to everyone that's over here and just participating every single day.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you, everyone. And, you know, on that high note, I'm going to pass it off to Fractilian. If you can orient us to what's next.